Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. We are delighted that you have joined us here to celebrate Shabbat and also to celebrate a wonderful young man, Gabriel Dannon, becoming bar mitzvah. And so in just a moment, we'll get started with our Friday night service, and Gabriel's going to help us out leading some of the prayers and things like that. But first, you should know that this is a singing community and a musical community, and we've got somebody playing a guitar over there. It's amazing, safe distance to be sure. And so normally what I'd be doing at this point is encouraging you to sing along, even though you're on mute. Sometimes that's where we feel most free to sing. So I highly encourage you to sing, and even if it's just humming or saying la la la, if you don't know the words just yet, that's okay too. It's a great place to start. And even if you have some musical instruments at home, I've been biased toward the singers lately, but if you got some table to tap out on, that's cool too. Please join us in however your spirit moves you. And to aid us in this, we also have a prayer book that has a lot of the words in it. I'm using this one right here. But if you're on Zoom, there's a link in the chat to our Sidur Sim Shalom for Shabbat and festivals. So the first thing we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to sing. And there's a song that we enter Shabbat with called Shalom Aleichem, where we are welcoming angels to escort us into Shabbat, to bless us, and then we ask them to, they come in peace, they bless us, they leave in peace, and they escort us and our additional Shabbat soul throughout this next, let's say, 25 hours. So we're going to sing that together, Shalom Aleichem. It's on page 13.
Let's join together. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Yasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mochem LaShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni LaShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Techem LaShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Techem LaShalom, Malachei Yashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And even as we increase the sound in our sanctuary and in our homes, we also increase the light in our lives as we enter Shabbat. And we have in the chapel, let's go to the chapel, please. We have some beautiful candlesticks to honor Shabbat that the family has brought. And so I'll invite the Dannon family to come and light those candles and bless the Shabbat lights.
So our beautiful candlesticks are brand new in honor of Gabriel's upcoming bar mitzvah. We had some candlesticks we had been using for the last probably 15, 20 years. They were very simple wood candlesticks, and we packed them away during COVID. The plan was to have some great renovations in our great room, and it's been put on hold forever and ever. And when we needed these candles, they were just packed away. And so we thought it would be really nice to have something very special and very grand and used for the first time in honor of Gabriel. So we're really excited to use these today.
Beautiful.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen.
Shabbat
shalom, everybody. How beautiful. And so now, whenever those candlesticks are lit, Gabriel, you'll remember this moment right here. Maybe you won't be quite as nervous, but you'll remember this moment right here. We also, in addition to our opening song and the light that is increasing in our sanctuary, we ascend toward Shabbat with a series of psalms and songs and prayers, beginning with Lechuna Ranana on page 15.
Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, l'Adonai. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, nekat mafanav betodah. Naria, naria, letzuri sheinu, bismirot naria lo, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, l'Adonai. Lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, lechuna ranana, l'Adonai. כי אל גדול אדוני מלך גדול על כל אלוהים אשר בידו מכרת. ואנחנו ארבעים שנה אדון ואומר עם תוהי לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ואפי אם יבואון אל מנוחתי.
16.
שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, בסרו מיום ליום, ישועתו ספו בגויים, כבודו בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כי גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. יאי לי לי together, יאי לי לי יאי לי לי יאי לי
We continue with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi. There's a new tune as the cantor's been trying out, and we've been trying to sing along with her on page, and we're going to start on page 22. Page 22.
Shabbat נקבלה לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה לא תבושי ולא תקלמי ומה תשתוכחי ומה תאמי בך יחסו אני ימי ונבנתה הרלתי לה together לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. Try that again. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. והיו לי משיסה שעושייך ורחקו כל מבלייך יסיס עלייך אלוהייך כי אם סוס חתן על קלה הולך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי על יד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה together. לך דודי לקראת קלה פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם משמחה וצולה, תוך אמוני סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Try that one more time. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
And we begin to conclude this Kabbalat Shabbat part of our service with a special psalm just for Shabbat. If you have a prayer book, you can find it on page 23, the Psalm for Shabbat, and it is my honor to introduce Simone Dannon to read this psalm for us. I'm going to spotlight Simone in just a second.
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
we can hear. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, go right ahead.
My sound is not working. Oh,
We
My-
can hear you just fine. Go ahead and
my
give it a
audio is
try.
not working. You
We
can,
can hear you. Great.
oh, okay. Psalm 92, a song for Shabbat. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God, to affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp. Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation. How vast your works, Adonai. Your designs are beyond our grasp. The thoughtless cannot comprehend. The foolish cannot fathom this. The wicked may flourish, springing up like grass, but their doom is sealed, for you are supreme forever. Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble. But me you have greatly exalted. I am anointed with fragrant oil. I have seen the downfall of my foes. I have heard the despair of my attackers. The righteous shall flourish like a palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God. They shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim, Adonai is just, my rock, in whom there is no flaw.
Beautifully done. And like so many parts of our tradition, we have a song for this as well on page
do.
23, Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון. Together again. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי אסון ועלי נבל, עלי היגיון וכינור, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מעולם קומה מחשבותיך. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מעולם קומה מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. If you're just joining us, this is Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. We are celebrating Shabbat together, and we are also celebrating a wonderful young man, Gabriel Dannon. We're celebrating him becoming Bar Mitzvah, and so he's going to be helping us out with services today. And stick around. I don't know if anybody told you, Gabriel, you also have to come to services tomorrow. So I hope you do, because I only have a sermon for tonight. I don't have one prepared for tomorrow, so you'll have to do that. In any case, I hope he's not surprised by that. We've actually been working together for quite some time. So Shabbat Shalom, really glad that you're here. This is the almost conclusion. By the time we're done with Shabbat, we will be done with week 4 of the Omer, this period of literally counting the days from leaving Egypt to the revelation of the mitzvot at Mount Sinai. And we count the days, 49 days, and on the 50th day, we celebrate Shavuot together. And it's interesting that they've sort of coincided with Shabbat almost exactly. At Motzi Shabbat, we'll count the 4th week, and then we'll go on from there. And tonight, I want to speak about an attribute that we've been learning about this week, but also connect it specifically to this time, in this part of the Jewish cycle of time, and the Torah portion for this week, Acharei Mot Kedoshim. Now, each week we study a different attribute of the divine, and as beings created in the divine image, we can also aspire to these attributes as well. And we've talked about things like chesed, loving kindness, gevurah, judgment or decision. We've talked about tiferet, the all-important balance of those two things. This week, we've started on kind of a new track, and we've been talking about the attribute of netzach. Now, in, I'll say, common parlance in Hebrew, netzach means eternity or futurity or that which does not end. In the Kabbalistic sense, it has to do with strength, and but not just strength like big muscles, but the strength of character, the strength of will, the strength of patience, the ability to endure and persevere and forbear. While so many of the attributes we've looked at before have to do with action, whether that is an act of loving kindness or a moment of acting with decisiveness or actively balancing those two forces, Netzach often involves doing nothing. Sometimes endurance is about what you don't do, like give up. Sometimes strength doesn't come in action, but strength comes in patience, in awaiting the right time for action. Sometimes strength is refusing to be baited to action, or acting hastily when it's time to examine the situation. And that's why I love talking about it on Shabbat, because Shabbat is a lot of things, but it's also our weekly practice of Netzach. Now, while I normally like to relax on Shabbat and not be tense, there is tension in a way. Shabbat is called in our tradition by the sages a taste of the world to come. It sort of imagines us to place our minds in futurity, is to leave this world, at least in our dreams, and reach into the future. The tension is it also invites us to the ultimate sense of presence and relinquishment of the future. Shabbat teaches us not only about the ideal world, but about seeing our current world in some sense as ideal. Just for 25 hours, stop trying to fix stuff and appreciate the world as it is. As much as we might like the world to be a different way. That's fair too. But you can have Shabbat. It teaches us to appreciate the world as it is, resist the urge to perfect it, and in so doing, teaches us patience, teaches us forbearance. Kedoshim, and Acharei Mot Kedoshim, it's especially Kedoshim, the Torah portion we're on this week, calls us to action. In chapter 19 of Vayikra, sometimes known as the core of the holiness code, because God says, you shall be holy. You shall be a holy people, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. And rather than giving a definition of what that means, God gives us a list of things to do. Remove the stumbling blocks from before the blind. Shout out those who would insult the deaf, and do not stand idly by the blood of your neighbor, but stand up. It's an action-packed parsha. So how do we square this with Netzach, with patience, with forbearance? In addition to appreciating the world as it is, even though we know it could be better, we practice letting go. On the one hand, we spend 24, 25 hours letting go of the things that are in our control. But that's also to remind us that so much isn't. And in focusing on letting go of what's in our control and letting go of what's out of our control, it also reminds us of how much time we spend thinking about, grinding our teeth about, holding grudges about the things that are out of our control. And this is important, because the more we become sensitive to what is outside of our control, the faster we can let go of that. And we need to, because there's so much that we do need to apply our energy to. That is the key to Netzach for me, is recognizing where we can forbear, where we can let go, because the world needs us and needs all of our energy. So let's stop wasting time on the things that are out of our control. And again, you might be thinking, we've got this holy call to action. Rabbi, aren't we supposed to repair the world? Absolutely. I shared with some of the people who are in the Omer group this week. You may not see my runner's physique from the neck down in this camera angle, but I started running marathons in my 30s. And this surprised no one more than me, because I thought I was never a runner. I mean, in high school, I rowed a boat just because you got to sit down the whole time. But then I learned how to run in a way that didn't destroy my 30-some-year-old knees, and that was, it's not 30-some anymore. And that was by doing this sort of run-walk maneuver. I forget the name of the guy who pioneered this. But this particular method of running for 10 minutes and walking for 1 minute. And you start off small. You start off, running for a minute, walking for a minute, running for a minute, walking for a minute, then run for 2 minutes and walk for a minute, then 8 minutes, and then 10. And it turns out you can run a whole marathon that way. It turns out that a big dude can run 6 or 7 marathons that way. By knowing when to rest, by knowing when to let go, so that you can finish the race. And we are not finished. We need our strength to remove the stumbling blocks from before the blind. We need our strength to shout out those who would insult the deaf. And we need our strength to stand up rather than stand by the blood of our neighbors. The race is not over. This week, there was a victory in the race for justice in America. And I and many exhaled. Thank God. And there are those who say, yes, this is a victory. This is a victory of accountability, but the race for justice is not over, and we need you. So as you contemplate Netzach, as you rest on Shabbat, use this time to recognize that which you no longer need to waste time on, what is outside of your control, and gather the strength for what you can do and for what you must. That is how we take a deep breath and change the world. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for joining us here at PJTC. We're now going to continue with our evening prayer service of Mariv. That's going to begin with our call to prayer, the Baruch, which I believe is going to be led in the chapel by our good friend Gabriel, who's going to face the ark and lead us in the Baruch. Everybody please rise if you can. We're on page 28.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. ומעביר יום ומעביר לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני,
Baruch Shemo.
אמרי ורבים.
Amen. You may be seated if you wish. Gabriel, you may turn around if you wish. And we will continue with Ahavat Olam on page 29 together.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו ושוכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגע יומם ולילה, נגע יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו
Amen. We go to the chapel for Gabriel to lead us in the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We continue in the middle of page 30, middle of page 30 at your own pace, and we'll get back together in just a moment. Let's join together at the top of page 30. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael, v'amarta alehem, v'asu lehem tzitzit, al kanfei bigdehem nedorotam, v'nanu al tzitzit hakanaf batil techelet, v'haya lachem letzitzit, uritem oto, uzkartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam, v'lo taturu acharei levavchem v'acharei einechem asher atem zonim achareihem leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelochechem אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים. אני
אדוני אלוהיכם.
Adonai Elohechem Amen. We continue at the top of page 32, page 32.
מלכותו ורצון קיבלו להם משה ומרים ובני ישראל הכנו שירה ושמחה רבה אמרו כולם. Let's join together in the middle of page 32 with מי כמוך. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקר היום לפני משה ומרים. זה לי אנו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Amen. If you turn to page 33, it's my honor to call on Mark and Candace Dannon, who will lead us in the Hashkivenu reading.
Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread us over your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace, now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised are you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Protect us.
Now let's join together in song at the top of page 33, page 33.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור שתינו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו וחמידנו מלכנו לחיים השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום וחמידנו שומרנו לחיים שלום 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 ברוך אתה אדוני
Baruch Shemo.
הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Amen. Please join us at the top of page 34. Page 34.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם אותי לעולם אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה
Amen.
וילמד דברי חירותה וימליך מלכותה וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו
Amen.
יהי
שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה
בריחו
לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויברו
we turn to page 35b. This is the time for the Amidah for Shabbat evening. This is a silent or private Amidah. You can lean on the words from our tradition on the page. They are strong. They will support you. You can also add whatever personal prayers are in your heart at this time. Rise if you wish and join us in a moment of private meditation. When you are finished with your own prayer, you may be seated, and we'll get back together in just a couple of moments.
יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אמן. עושה שלום שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמן אמן. עושה שלום שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. ועל כל ישראל אמן. Can I have
We conclude the Amidah with the Kaddish Shalem on page 48. Page 48.
יתקדל ויתקדש שמר רבה.
Amen.
ואלמדי ורחילותי ימליך מלכותה וחיי יכונו וימכונו וחיי תכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב וימרו.
Amen.
יהא שמר רבה מבורך. לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתבר ויתרמה ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי וקודשה.
Brihu.
לאל אמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירם בעלמה וימרו.
Amen.
תתקבל צלתון ומהותון דכל ישראל קודם אבואן דמשמיא וימרו.
Amen.
יהא שלום הרמי שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וימרו.
Amen.
עושה שלום במרומיו ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל וימרו.
Amen. And before we open the ark for Aleinu, as I said before, we are in the period of counting the Omer, and so we're going to do that right now before we conclude the service. We're going to count together on page 55, and Cantor Ruth's going to start us off.
So we use one of the new melodies for these words, middle of the page. Let's join together. הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן לקיים מצוות עשה. הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן, הנני מוכן ומזומן של ספירת העומר. כמו שכתוב בתורה, הנני מוכן ומזומן, כמו שכתוב בתורה, הנני מוכן ומזומן, וספרתם לכם ממחרת השבת, הנני מוכן ומזומן, ביום אביכם את עומר התנופה, הנני מוכן ומזומן. 7 שבתות תמימות תהיינה, עד ממחרת השבת יספרו 50 יום. And we join together in the blessing. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו על ספירת העומר.
Amen.
Yesterday we counted 26, so we'll join together. The next line. היום 27 יום שהם 3 שבועות. ו6 ימים לעומר.
This is the 27th day of the Omer, which is 3 weeks and 6 days of the Omer. And having counted the Omer, we are literally counting the days to Shavuot. We are going to rise for Aleinu, which is on page 51, and we have a virtual ark opening here. Let's see, we're going to ask the camera to go to Tony Blackman, who has the honor of opening the ark. Do we have Tony? Oh, there's Tony. There's Tony. We're in the right place. Excellent. There's an actual ark opening. Please rise as the ark is open and we face the ark.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא עשנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא עשם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. שנוטה שמיים ויעשה עצמו. אמת ויסוד כתוב יד היום השעות. על כן נקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו יראת מלאכתך. כי המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, והי אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
We remain standing as Tony closes the ark. Well done. The ark is closed. You may be seated. This is a time in our service where even as we gather together, enjoy to celebrate life, we also remember those who are no longer with us. In the coming week, we are marking the Yahrzeit of Abe Salem, Abraham Siegel, Anna Brenner, Annie Wiskind, Bessie Shapiro, Betty Harris, David Liebel, David Pessin, Donald Konakowitz, Dora Carlin, Elena Frankel, Eleanor Butnick, Elsie Slifkin, Gary Taylor, Harry Krishka, Harry Rotenberg, Hedda Grunfeld, Herbert Berkman, Erwin Weinberg, Janet Ann Taylor, Joan Carlton, Joseph Jacob Hassman, Lenny Schneider, Lillian Babin, Louis Ellenbogen, Louis Garbowitz, Louis Werner, Malcolm Apt, Mary Moldovsky, Max Parton, Mendel Miller, Motaram Nadar, Morris Isaac Brenner, Meyer Weinstein, Nathan Miner, Nathan Sternberg, Ralph Barati, Roy Premack, Sadie Epstein, Samuel Nimitz, Sonia Greenspan, Susan Grace Sampson, Sylvia Katzman, Violet Schaefer, Wendy Snyder, Wolf Druyan, Yona Nissen, and Zelda Epstein. If you have another name that you'd like to lift up in honor at this time, please hold their name in your heart as we pray, or say their name out loud wherever you are. And I'll ask that if you are in mourning or observing a Yahrzeit, please rise and join me for the Kaddish Tome on page 52. Page 52, the Mourner's Kaddish. Let's pray together. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Ba'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehe shmei Rabba mevarach leolam ulalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shmei dekudsha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. If you're standing, you may be seated, except for you, Gabriel. Please remain standing, and let's put the camera on the chapel just for a second. Let's see, is there a goodie bag in there, Cantor Ruth?
There are actually 3 separate things that are not in the bag,
but there are goodies. So, not to tease it any further, we have some wonderful presentations for our bar mitzvah this evening. We've got a presentation from the USY, from the Sisterhood, and also from the Men's Club. And we're going to kick it off with Isaac Tragars, who has a presentation on behalf of the USY.
Mm-hmm.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. My name is Isaac Tragars, and I am speaking on behalf of the USY board. Gabriel, I am so extremely proud to see you becoming bar mitzvah. I know that the months of studying your portion and your prayers was very hard, but look at where it led you. You are doing a fantastic job. Though I'm saddened that I cannot hand this to you in person, I'm still so glad to have the honor to present to you your own B'Kol Achad, also known as the USY Songbook. This book has every song that we will use at USY regional events. Again, Mazel Tov on becoming Bar Mitzvah. Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you.
Yasher Koach and Shabbat Shalom. Look at that bencher. All right, it's now my great honor to call upon Nancy Carlton, who has a presentation on behalf of the PJTC Sisterhood.
Thank you, Rabbi. Gabriel, on behalf of the PJTC Sisterhood, I extend congratulations on your bar mitzvah. Today may seem like the beginning of your journey into manhood, but rest assured that it simply is another milestone on a path of life's journey. We are looking forward to seeing what other landmark moments you accomplish. As you sip from this Kiddush cup on Shabbat and Jewish holidays, let it be a reminder of your accomplishments in reaching this very special time. Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well done. And now, last but never least, we have a presentation by Ira Blitz on behalf of the Men's Club at PJTC.
Hi, Gabriel. It was wonderful watching you up there tonight. I congratulate you on behalf of Men's Club. I'd like to tell you that I was especially pleased to learn of your mitzvah project, helping the animals at the Pasadena Humane Society. It's also one of my own favorite charities, and I got 2 wonderful cats there. So I thank you for doing that. I know your family is proud of your accomplishments. Well, as you know, I'm up here representing the Men's Club, whose mission it is to support the youth programs in our community, including USY, B'nai Simcha, the Louis B. Silver Religious School, the Federation Youth Orchestra, and camping scholarships. Tonight, I get to perform one of my favorite duties on behalf of Men's Club, which is to present you with a beautiful yad, which is among the items you have up there. The yad both protects the Torah and adds to the spirituality of its reading. Tomorrow, you will have the mitzvah of using this yad when reading the Torah. Again, congratulations on behalf of Men's Club.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yashkoch Ira, and now we are going to end as we began, and that is in joyous song. So I'll invite you to rise and to sing out at the top of your lungs, even or especially because you're on mute. And please join us for Od Yavo Shalom, and then stick around for Kiddush, would you please?
Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, ve'al kulam, Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam, Salam Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos, everybody. Now, as I said before, if you would, please stick around for Kiddush. Are we going to the chapel for this one, Cantor Ruth?
Yes, we are.
Okay,
and,
so,
yeah, we're gonna lead it from here, but we have the Kiddush cup and all the, yes, see, they're getting,
Fantastic. And I'll invite everybody who's playing the home version to please go grab a glass of wine or some juice or something like that. Whatever beverage you celebrate with is cool. Join us for Kiddush and Motzi, and then maybe after Kiddush we'll roll the announcements. But for right now, look at that beautiful family in the chapel.
so Gabriel, I want you to pick up the Kiddush cup. You can take that. Yeah, thank you, Mom.
He gets the big one.
Always important. Do you have some juice in there? Cool. Well, lift it up, and we're going to sing together. ויהי ערב ויהי בוקר יום השישי ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Let's join together in this part. Lift up the cup. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם בורא פרי הגפן. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר קידשנו במצוותיו ורצבנו ושבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשה בראשית כי הוא יום תהילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת עם כל עמים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. לחיים.
All right, those who wish to wash your hands before Motzi, now is a good time to do it. I'll be, if you don't have your washing gear ready, I'll be thinking of you while I do it here. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Amen. And as we go back to the chapel, let's see, Gabriel, do you have some challah somewhere there or something that looks like challah?
Might be hidden.
Okay, let's bring it. You don't need the prayer book right now. Let's move it to the center so everyone can share a little bit of the virtual challah. And if you have some challah in your homes or anything that is leavened bread, you may go for it together. Let's uncover it now. Drum roll. Woo! Let's super uncover it, like as in more than uncovering it. And the three of you can hold it together. And let's say the blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'te'ava. We'll take a piece. Enjoy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everybody. Mazel tov to the Dannon family. And it's great. Thank you for everybody who's tuned in to join us here at PJTC. We're gonna turn off the live feed here in a